Welcome to the Rhythm Room, a monthly moment to realign with grace. I'm Coach Paula, and each month we explore how awareness, intention, and momentum create a rhythm for growth that lasts. So let's take a breath, settle in, and step into this month's rhythm together. Let's go. Grace to you. This is Coach Paula. Welcome to this month's Rhythm Room. We are at the intersection of evaluate and awareness, and our blog focus for this month is the strength of a gentle mirror. So glad to welcome you into our program on tonight. And I would just like to reflect about gentleness and reflect about the blog itself. Now, I'm not going to read it all or read any of it really per se, but there is a key line that I do think is pertinent for our conversation on tonight from the blog itself. Gentleness is a fruit of the spirit, and each month our blog is rooted in the fruit of the spirit. And so we're focusing on gentleness. And I just like to say that gentleness is not weakness. It's not, um, doesn't mean that you're weak just because you may take a gentle approach to something. I think it's very important to realize that. I think we often confuse, gentleness and meekness and those types of things with someone being weak, but actually, it's not. Being able to execute in gentleness, quite honestly, is a strength. And that's the line from the blog that I really wanted to share. It says, gentleness is also strength under control. Strength under control. It is the ability to hold power and truth without crushing the one who needs it. So, this is true for us, and when we're evaluating ourselves, our mirror of self reflection, it can be harsh if we hold it too rigidly. But gentleness is what gives us the ability to be flexible and to look honestly at ourselves without shaming ourselves for what we see. And so, if anybody knows Coach Paula, you know that I love acronyms. And so, I'm adding in new, it wasn't in the blog itself, but just an acronym around gentle, because it's one thing to say, what are we going to do to be gentle, or we should be gentle and to make that promotion. However, it's another thing to say, how are we going to do that? It's not just enough to say to do it, but giving the practical instruction. So, how do you give yourself a gentle mirror? I'm so glad you asked. Well, the G is for grace. Give yourself grace. I offer myself kindness in the face of imperfection. It is so important. This is my year. I'm 55 this year, and 5 is the number of grace. And so this is my double grace year. But grace is a significant word to me, and it has been down through the years, but even more recently, it has become more of a foundational word for me. It'll be 4 years next month that my husband passed away, my husband of 30 years. And at the moment that he passed, a phrase became essential for our family at that time. And it was, I'm giving myself grace and space. Grace to be able to journey in something that I've never done before, and space to be able to allow myself the flexibility and the room to do it. And so grace is very, very important. Oftentimes we extend grace to others, but we struggle in extending it to ourselves. And so let me be the first to encourage you to give yourself grace. Offer yourself kindness in the face of imperfection. When you're doing something that you've never done before, or something that is, contrary to what you would normally do, give yourself some grace in that. No, it's not going to be perfect. Even if it's something that you have done before, it doesn't mean you know how to perfectly do it right the next time, or that the circumstances and conditions around it have not changed. And so it's very important that we give ourselves grace. That is how you hold a gentle mirror. E is to have empathy. Think about it. Empathy, we listen inward with patience, with curiosity, and compassion. Have compassion toward yourself, right? Have some patience with yourself. That's being empathetic and having empathy. The N is nurture. I tend to my inner world and I care with intention. So we care about our inner world. We care about our inner self, not just the outward appearance. That is how we give ourselves a gentle mirror. Because what's seen on the outside is only one half of the story. There's a lot more going on the inside. And quite honestly, that is what really needs our attention. So we nurture ourselves from the inside out. T is tenderness. That means I soften my edges without losing my strength. I can have a gentle approach or I can have a soft approach to something, but doesn't mean that I'm soft. I still could have my strength and I can still be resilient and I can still hold levels of accountability and responsibility, but still be gentle in it. It takes some wisdom in doing it because it's not always easy. It's not, but it's something that is a necessary skilled resource that we need to have to be able to apply it to ourselves. L is love. I hold space for all the parts of me, both seen and unseen. Sometimes we only want to focus on, the good aspects of ourselves or things that we like, and the things that we don't like, we kind of try to sweep under the rug and ignore. But we got to look at all parts of ourselves and love all parts of ourselves, because even the parts that we don't like about ourselves, they're ultimately under development. And even the things that we do like may shift. And so it's important because life shifts us through the years as we age and different circumstances and things occur. It's important to constantly be taking this inventory and making sure that we're loving ourselves, all parts of ourselves, that we're not isolating one part over the other, but we're embracing all parts of ourselves. And as we do that, as we give grace, as we have empathy, as we nurture and have tenderness and love, ultimately we're getting to empowerment. Because at the end of the day, we have to choose to grow from truth and not shrink from it. So the strength in the gentle mirror is that it tells the truth. Even though it may hurt, even though it may be difficult, the strength is that it does tell the truth. And the other strength is that you're able to bear it. Even when the truth is told to you, as much as it may hurt, as much as it may be challenging, you still have the strength to bear it. That's where the empowerment comes in, because you're making a choice to grow from what you're learning and to make an observation from it and to grow from it and to not shrink from it. It may take some time. Growth and success are not overnight activities. So lean in to whatever the time is that it takes to grow and to sharpen in that area. And so that's the gentle mirror that we can apply: grace, empathy, nurture, tenderness, love, and empowerment. Another thing that I shared in the blog was an awareness audit tool. I've given you an acronym, which I believe is helpful. I hope is helpful, to you. But now we also had given an awareness audit tool. I hope you downloaded that. If not, I will put a link in this teaching so that you can download that audit awareness tool as reference for you as well. But it had 4 key sections to it, and I'll just briefly run through those sections. And it's designed for you to be able to stop and pause at any given minute and audit and assess your awareness. So there are 4 key components. 1, identifying your patterns. This means asking yourself, what are you noticing about your thoughts, about your actions, about how you're responding to circumstances and situations? Look at your patterns, because they will tell you something. That's how you audit your awareness. The second component is clarifying your insights. This means asking yourself, what truth am I learning about myself right now? Remember, the gentle mirror always seeks truth. So clarifying those insights, you're going to have to face some things, and it might be difficult, but you can do it. What truth am I learning about myself right now? Lean into that truth and take advantage of what it's giving you as a resource. The third component is gathering the evidence. What specific moments or results show me I am growing? You can say I'm growing, but how do you know? What's bubbling up to the surface to let you know, that was definitely growth on your part, sis. And so identify that, journal it, rehearse it in your head under the circumstances, under the situation. What made it manifest this time? Or maybe it did not manifest before. Looking at the specific moments or results that really show you that you are growing. And then the fourth component is to simply choose the next step. What are we going to do next? What will I keep? Right? What am I going to release? And then what am I going to refine moving forward? That's one thing in PH Academy and in Coach Paula's methodologies and teaching is, yes, we look briefly at what was, we look carefully at currently what is, but our focus is always path forward. What are we carrying forward? What lessons learned are we moving forward to the next? That's how we audit our awareness. We identify the patterns, we clarify the insights, we gather all the necessary evidence so that we can choose the next step. And we can choose well because we have some information and insight helping us, but we choose at all times to move forward. And even as we're moving forward, we continue to audit our awareness and continue to be aware of what we are, who we are, and why we are, so that we can continue along the journey. So I encourage you to read the blog. It goes a little more deeper than perhaps some of what I've said here. It also has some affirmations contained therein that you can speak over yourself related to gentleness. Download the the Awareness Audit Tool. That should be something that can help you along the journey as well. And by all means, Coach Paula is always available if you want to reach out to me via email or if you want to drop a message on my website. However you choose, you'll respond or put a comment here on this broadcast. By all means, I'm an available resource to help you to navigate this gentleness and apply the gentle mirror to your life as well. Because at the end of the day, you get to choose what the mirror is going to magnify. It's always going to show you something. But the power lies within you to decide and make a choice as to what you're going to do about it. So choose well, knowing that you're not alone and you have support along the journey. Catch you next time in the Rhythm Room. Take care. Thanks for joining me in the Rhythm Room today. This has been your space to reflect, realign, and grow at a pace that honors who you're becoming. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present, and stay in rhythm.